Hello, we're playing Incursion again today, so let's just get right into it. I wanted to play a mage character, and I'm going to pick an orc. Um, Mage is not really a recommended class for orcs because they get this -2 to intelligence, but they actually do have a couple of things that are pretty helpful for mages. They have this toughness feat for free, so we get an extra 25% health, which is pretty handy because mages are typically pretty squishy health-wise. We get scent, which is kind of a nice little bonus. That just means that we'll be able to detect monsters within 30 feet of us, provided they can be detected through scent. We get infravision, which basically every class, or not class, every race except humans get, so that's not too special. And the big thing, I guess, is this Spell Fury ability. So we can add twice our Wisdom modifier on arcane spells that inflict direct physical damage. I think that's a little bit misleading, that text, because it's not actually physical damage. It's basically just any damage which isn't arcane damage. But yeah, that's just about everything we get for orcs. They have -2 to intelligence and to charisma, I think. But we do get +2 to wisdom and +4 to strength. And we're just going to go with a standard orc and pick a mage. So we've got a whole bunch of rolls here. I'm just going to ignore these, although that third one isn't too bad. And just do point buy. So because we do have the -2 to intelligence as an orc, I want to max out intelligence, which you're unlikely to get through the regular rolling. We can drop strength down to 4, because we get a big bonus to that. Put dex up to 12, con up to 14. We want high wisdom because we do add that wisdom modifier to our damage on spells. Charisma we don't want to drop too low because we do have that -2 modifier on it, and there are some monsters and diseases and stuff that can damage your charisma, and if you get a stat damage to 0 you just die. So we might just leave that at 8. We'll get a bit of luck, so luck will help us find better items, but also it improves the effectiveness of mage armor. Mage armor will give you an armor rating that is improved if you have a positive luck modifier. We've got 4 points remaining. I guess we can go a little bit more into dexterity, or probably con is more useful actually. Let's get, 16 con. I think that looks okay, let's go with that. And we're just going to go neutral evil, because that is a alignment that doesn't require too much thinking about. So the important thing, I guess, when you're playing a mage character is your spell, your spell school, specialization. We are probably just going to go with Necromancer, I think. So there's this spell failure modifier table. There's all these plus 25% and -15% and that sort of thing. This just shows you how good each school is at casting spells from other schools. So if we're a Necromancer, we get plus 25% to Necromancy, which reduces the magic cost and improves the cast chance. The bad thing about Necromancer as a specialization is that we get -10% on Abjuration, and all of the early buffs, or all of the important early buffs, I guess, tend to be Abjuration spells, so we're going to suffer a mana penalty there. But Necromancer is pretty good, so we'll just pick that. And for our first couple of feats, let's get Natural Aptitude, and this will allow us to pick Healing, which is not a native skill to mages or to orcs, and it's a very useful skill to have. And the other thing that we're going to go with is Still Spell. So this isn't too exciting, this is just a meta magic feat, which will allow us to cast spells even when we're being grappled or ensnared without any penalty. So the way that meta magic works is that you can kind of optionally add it to spells that you cast, and that'll increase their magic cost and their difficulty. And depending on how skilled you are at meta magic, this thing here, it'll also cost you some fatigue, which is why dwarves actually make really good mages, because they can just spam meta magic without worrying about the fatigue cost. But for our skills, we're going to go Searching and Spot, because those are incredibly important for basically every character in this game. Get 1 point in healing so that we start with a healing kit. And appraise, concentration, decipher script, and intuition. We'll just get 1 point in all of those. We're not going to worship Kazrak. That's sort of a melee focused god. And I think he also gets annoyed if you kill orcs, and we're probably going to be killing some orcs. So, note of that. Okay, we definitely want mage armor. You can see that the base cost is 10, but for us it costs 20, which is pretty bad. So we have double cost on mage armor, but it's extremely useful, so we can't go without it. Shield, knock for opening doors, and we're probably going to be kind of slow at level 1 because we've got crappy strength, so we could pick up Expeditious Retreat or Floating Disc, but we also don't have any way to damage things that are immune to necrotic damage, so I'm going to pick up Monster Summoning 1. As a Necromancer, we start with Minor Drain, and that will do 1 to 4 damage, with the caveat that this will also be boosted by our Orcish Spell Fury, so really that's 1 to 4 plus double our Wisdom modifier, so 1 to 4 plus 8 damage at the moment. But yeah, here we are in the game. We have around 30 health, which is pretty decent for a mage. We got a pretty bad mana roll. We only got 3. Mages get a 1d20 for their mana roll, so they've got the highest out of any class. But looks like we didn't get too lucky for our first level. Mages do start with this Stone of Channeling, which just gives them an extra 40 magicka to start the game with. Let's see, how heavy are we? Yeah, our encumbrance is heavy at the moment, so we're only moving at 80% speed. We should probably drop some stuff, and we're never going to use a whole bunch of this stuff. So let's drop that spear, let's drop these Orcish shot puts. Let's see. There is a bug, I should say, when you pick Necromancer. So when you pick a mage school, you get given 2 books, which are related to that school. So I think the 2 for Necromancy, I guess it's this one, Ars Mortis, and this one, Mastery Over Death. But you can see this Mastery Over Death one doesn't actually contain any spells. It's meant to contain our higher level necromancy spells, but it doesn't. So we're probably going to have to enter wizard mode and cheat in a book that does contain some higher level necromancy spells. I won't do that immediately. I'll see if I can get away with just finding it on level 2 where the library is. But if I don't find it there, I'll probably just cheat it in. So this spell book is useless to us. We can just drop it. What else? That's probably about it. Let's set up our buffs. Let's get mage armor and shield up and running. So this will just give us some resistance and extra defense. Shield also makes you immune to magic missiles. And let's put knock on 9, mind drain on 1, monster summoning on 2, phase door on 0. Let's go with that, yep. Okay. So casting all of our buffs costs 30 magicka, so we've only got 27 to work with. I didn't really talk about it on the druid character because it wasn't really relevant. So the way that magic works in this game is that after your buffs have been cast, you can spend up to half of your remaining magicka, and then you can regenerate. But if you drop below half of what you've spent, oh sorry, this is an awkward way of wording it. Our max magicka at the moment is 27 because 30 of it is in buffs. If we spend more than half of that, we won't be able to regenerate and we'll have to rest. So we just have to be careful not to actually spend too much magic all at once. Let's pick up our regular potions that always line the walls of this room, and we'll stick them on our belt because we want to be able to use them quickly. It costs you more time to use something from your pack. We can just drop these Orcish daggers. Okay, so bit of a long intro I guess, but we're finally into the game. And we immediately ran into a trap. Fortunately it was just a damage trap, and it looks like it only did damage to our knife, which was immune to it anyway. But yeah, traps are a big problem for mages. That's actually the reason I picked healing. I did a couple of test runs, test characters I guess. One of them died from hitting a trap and then getting poisoned, and another one died from disease, both of which you can heal if you have the healing skill, but those two characters didn't. Okay, so let's just explore and see if we can find some monsters to kill. Let's just run around the outside of this hedge maze and get ambushed by a baboon. So the nice thing about necromancers is that Minor Drain will heal you for whatever damage it does, and healing is pretty difficult to come across in this game. So it's really nice being able to start with a way of healing yourself. And if you look at the damage, we get 1d4 plus 8 equals 10 life drain damage, and that plus 8 is from the Spell Fury ability. So if you're not an orc, Minor Drain does pretty pathetic damage, but because we are, we actually can get away with using it. Okay, little pack of mongrel men. This guy, oops. One of those guys was carrying a buckler. It might be worth picking up a buckler. I think we already did actually, did we? Oh, I thought he was carrying a buckler. I have no idea where it went. Anyway, if we see a buckler, we might want to pick it up. We don't have proficiency in shields, so it would reduce our spell chances. But it might be worth burning a feat to get shield proficiency, just so we can wear one. Okay, so this is actually a perfect example of why I picked Steel Spell as our second feat at level 1. So you can see at the moment our success rate for all of our spells is at 50% or less, and that's because we've been grappled by this guy here, and there wasn't really anything we could do to avoid that because I think he ambushed us. Yeah, catching you off guard. So if this happens to you and you're a mage, often you just die, or you have to drink a dimension door to get out of it. But since we picked up Still Spell, we can press S on Minor Drain to use Meta Magic on it, and now the chance has gone back up to 93% because we don't require the use of our arms to cast it. We did actually fail the Meta Magic there, so we got a fatigue cost of 1, so we can't do this too often. Yeah, so we lost 2 fatigue points, but we managed to kill him. Okay, fell into a pit trap. Let's just sit here and then phase out. It's actually quite difficult to climb out of those pits, so it's very useful being to just cast phase door. This looks like it might be a kobold warren, and if it is, we are leaving. Okay, just a vermin burrow. Kobold warrens tend to come with many traps, and also kobolds who can throw tanglefoot bags at you, which isn't a huge deal because we do have Still Spell, but it's a bit of a pain. Let's see what's down here. Nothing much. It might be worth going to the second floor a bit early just to have a look through the library. But on second thoughts, yeah, maybe not actually. There's nothing really too crazy that we could find in the library. The best thing would be a book that contains high level necromancy spells, but that would be useless to us at level 1. Okay, these guys can cast this Force Bolt spell, which can knock you around. So he did a bit of damage to us, but fortunately Minor Drain just heals us. Uncursed Adamant Small Shield. Yeah, so because we lack proficiency with shields, we're going to get a bit of a penalty when we wear this. But it might still be worth picking up. So at the moment we have a 94% chance of casting Minor Drain. How does that look with the shield? A 90% chance. And our defense is 14, 10. I think it's probably worth wearing the shield, even without any proficiency. An extra 4 defense is pretty nice. Okay, it looks like he's hiding in the water. I don't know if there are any more of them. We can kind of shoot a few spells off just to check. Oh, we can't actually swim. We can't get their loot then. We might be able to phase over this little gap. Yeah, there we go. Well, there's nothing here anyway. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. There's something in this room. Human monk. I'm trying to keep an eye on our mana just to make sure we don't drop below half of 27. But we hit enough experience for level 2. So I think I mentioned in the Druid playthrough, but there is an argument to be made for holding off on leveling up. Because you get more experience killing monsters if you're a lower level. We haven't been having too much trouble, so maybe for a little bit... Oh, we hit a fairy fire trap, that's probably fine. Maybe for a little bit longer I'll just not level up and just see how we go. There's an invisible door here for some reason. That's probably just some sort of graphical glitch. Acid Fog Cavern. Well, at least we didn't start in any acid. Got ambushed by a jelly there, but we managed to heal up through Minor Drain. Okay, let's see if we can check this other stair as well. And get ambushed by these guys again. Oh, we have a chieftain. But he gets killed by Minor Drain just like everything else. Yeah, the Spell Fury should not be understated. It's really doing a lot of work in the damage that we're able to do. Without that, you have pretty pathetic damage. Okay, I don't really want to be in there. You might have seen as well, because we have Decipher Script as a class skill, we actually do have a chance of identifying runed objects without having to read a scroll of identify on them, but I think we've been failing it so far. It's kind of nice to put a couple of points into that skill, even if you don't intend on making a lot of use of it, because if you successfully identify stuff like that, it actually trains your intelligence, which is useful for a mage. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's probably good to show off. Mages are pretty squishy, and this guy just one-hit us. Let's see. Yeah, he managed to get a crit on us, which is just unlucky. And then he has power attack, and also apparently a weapon that does ×3 damage on a critical instead of ×2. So, yeah, he just absolutely destroyed us. So that is it for that character. We are dead. Let's just go back to the main menu. So Incursion has this thing I can actually show off, I guess, called Reincarnate a Character. So because we died before we had hit dungeon level 5 or character level 5, we can just restart the same character without having to go through character creation. So that can happen with mages, but whatever, it's not a huge deal. We got an even worse mana roll this time somehow, which is pretty unlucky because we got a pretty terrible mana roll the first time as well. Anyway, let's set up our stuff again. And I'll play a little bit quicker, I guess, just because we've seen this early bit before. But yeah, that is pretty likely to happen when you're playing as a mage. Probably what I should have done is just leveled up immediately when we had enough experience for it, because that would have increased our health by a little bit. That plague of spiders, we actually got kind of lucky. We succeeded on our fortitude save. If we had failed, he would have poisoned us and then we might have been in trouble. This is bad. We're stunned and ensnared, so our success rate is going to be really low. Yeah, 55%. Let's just quaff a dimension door to get away from that guy. Here's the counterspell system, I guess. So he's casting Inflict Light Wounds. We have a option to counterspell him. So let's just counter him because it only costs us 1 magic from the looks of it. He's also summoning stuff, which is kind of bad. This bee, I think, can poison us as well. So hopefully he doesn't sting us. Okay, good. We managed to kill the priest, and then the bee disappeared. Here's that boa constrictor again. Or possibly a different one. There's a bit of an aura here. You can kind of tell from the floor tile. There's like this brighter white dot. So there's probably a priest or a paladin around the corner. Yeah. Looks like we haven't identified just yet, but from the aura of valor, I'm guessing a paladin. Knowing what class you're fighting can occasionally... Oops, what's going on here? He knocked us prone, and then he ran over, and he's probably going to do a lot of damage to us. Can we phase away? Let's try phasing away with Still Spell. And our mana bar has gone red, which means we have dropped below the point at which it can recover by itself. So we're going to have to rest after we fight this guy. Okay, we at least killed the guy that was blowing us down every turn. And we hit enough experience for level 2. Let's learn from our mistakes and just level up right away. We got a slightly better mana roll that time, I guess, so that's something. And we're up to 37 health, so I actually don't know if that would have saved us, because I think that critical hit did like 43 damage. Excuse me. It looks like leveling up has actually increased our mana pool to the point where we can rest off what we used, which is nice. Won't have to go do a long rest. Kind of got lucky with getting 2 of these ancient barracks and community offices, because these rooms have a lot of enemies in them typically. So good for leveling up quickly, I guess. I'm a bit worried about this giant tortoise. Let's just run away. Oh, he ensnared us. Okay. Let's Steel Spell, phase away. try not to let him get into melee range again. Okay, good. Killed him. We should probably back up and rest actually, just so our magic comes back. Oh, another one. It's kind of awkward, this positioning, because I would have liked to run away from him, but if I did that, he would not have pursued due to line of sight reasons. He should follow us now, though. Yep, cool. Managed to pick the lock there, which is nice. Extra 100 experience for free. And this is another one of those room types with lots of enemies in them, which is good, because it means more experience. We are going to be leveling up more slowly than the Dwarf Druid did, just because Dwarven Focus gives you that extra experience whenever you kill your marked enemy. We don't have that. But it looks like we're leveling up at a decent rate. So maybe I shouldn't be too worried. Okay, so here's a zombie. He's immune to life drain. I guess we are level 2 now, so we could learn Magic Missile, but also what we could do is just summon some guys around him, which is why I picked up Monster Summoning as one of our first level spells. Yep, cool. I managed to kill him. That guy damaged our robes. I don't think that's a huge deal. I don't think our robes are actually giving us anything. Those guys actually are kind of dangerous because they can damage your spell books, and if they do that to the point where your spell book actually breaks, then you won't be able to cast your spells anymore. Looks like we actually did manage to identify this through Decipher Script. This is a pretty nice weapon. I don't know if we might actually have proficiency in that, because we do have martial training, I think, from being an orc. Maybe it's worth wearing that. We're never going to actually make hits, but we will get some attacks of opportunity occasionally, like we got one just then, although we missed him. Okay, we're not too far away from level 3. This guy will manage to get us up there. Yep. Oh no, sorry, that's... You have enough experience to advance to level 2. I think that message is incorrect. That's kind of weird. Anyway, here we are at level 3. I think I will pick up shield proficiency, because it's pretty good to have a shield. And there's nothing else really that I need at the moment. So we can learn a few new spells, I guess. Looks like we actually started with a spell book that contains ESP, which is really good. Any spell that detects enemies is very useful in this game because it helps you to not get sneak attacked. So we're definitely going to pick up that. We have one more level 2 spell that we can learn. And let's pick up Resist Water. We really don't want our spell books to be destroyed. And we've got a few level 1 spells that we can pick up as well. Let's get Floating Disc to help out with our carry weight. Protection from Evil. Unfortunately, these are all Abjuration, Resist Water and Protection from Evil, so they're going to cost us more. And what else? Maybe Expeditious Retreat? I don't think we need Magic Missile because we can still just summon. Yeah, let's get Expeditious Retreat. Next time we get a level 1 spell we can pick up Magic Missile, and then that's probably it for level 1 spells that we would want. Okay, let's put Resist Water, ESP, Protection from Evil, and Expeditious Retreat all on auto buff. And our movement speed is now 175, which is pretty nice. I would like to find a shield just to improve our defense a little bit. So we'll see if we can track down a shield somewhere. Oh yeah, skills. I forgot to spend skill points. As always, first things first, get searching and spot. And I'll dump a bunch more into healing, because if we do hit some poison or get diseased, I definitely want to be able to cure it. Otherwise, I'll probably just get those 4, and I guess meta magic. Yeah, get meta magic. We have used Steel Spell a couple of times. This is unusual. This is the library. Usually you first see this on level 2 of the dungeon. So this is pretty good because we can find extra spells. So this spellbook has Animate Dead and Fireball, which are both good spells. We do get bonuses to the amount of undead that we can have as a necromancer. It looks like we did pick up a buckler at some point, so we may as well just wear that right now. Brings our defense up to 12. This spellbook has haste, which is probably good. Let's get that. Did I remember to drop? I think I did remember to drop the useless one. And I do tend to explore libraries in a certain way because they, in my experience, tend to have more traps than other room types. So usually what I do is kind of peek in from both sides and just walk in far enough to reveal all the floor tiles. Here's that book again. Yep, bugged, no spells in it. So it's meant to contain Major Drain and a couple of other higher level necromancy spells. I think there's only one other book in the game that actually does contain Major Drain, so like I said before, if we're not lucky enough to find it, I'm just going to cheat it in. Lordship over air. I guess we might want Fly and Gust of Wind for dealing with druids. So yeah, I guess we'll just pick up everything, basically. The spellbooks aren't too heavy, so it's not a big deal. How's our encumbrance actually? Our encumbrance is heavy. Oh, we didn't put floating disc on, that's why. Encumbrance none, very good. Floating disc just carries your pack for you up to a certain weight limit, which is very useful for low strength characters like mages tend to be. Spellbook, Elemental Covenant. I don't think we need anything in there. But also, there's no reason not to pick it up. We are nauseated, which is maybe fine. We do have some levels in concentration. Concentration will allow you to take actions even when you're nauseated, but we should probably just rest to get rid of it. So we didn't find the spellbook that contains Major Drain in that library, but there's still the library on level 2 of the dungeon. So maybe we'll get lucky. But if we don't, I'll just cheat it in. Okay, there's a lot of attacks happening at the moment. Looks like this elf is evil, so fortunately our protection from evil is helping us out. He's also not friendly with these goblins from the looks of it. Okay, we're running out of magic, so we're gonna have to rest after this, I think. Okay, wait. It's taking us extra time to cast, I guess because we don't have any hands free. Okay, let's just drop the mace then. Uncursed Elven Small Shield. That may be worth wearing over the buckler. So we have 13 defense, 15 defense, okay. Actually, it looks like our magic did recover. Despite our mana bar going red there. So maybe there's a little bit of leeway. ESP is also helping us out detect some of these monsters, which is nice. Okay, well it didn't help us there. We are stuck, and we're pretty low on fatigue. Let's still spell phase out of that. Did we lose our fatigue point? We did. Okay, we're definitely going to have to go rest now, because if we drop into the negatives in fatigue, we're going to have to rest multiple times in order to get back to full. So let's just go back to the stair and rest up at the inn. What is this? Oh, healing kit. Looks like there's a boa constrictor lurking behind this door. Let's see if we can just take him out. Cool. Okay, back up to the inn. Get our buffs back up. We can stop auto buff because that guy attacked us. Okay, there we go. We're already spending quite a lot of magic on buffs. We're not even very far into the game yet. Probably the most important buff is ESP. That's a really great one to have. Okay, that guy's a human barbarian. We realized that from detecting him. So the thing that does that is the appraise skill. If you have a better appraise skill, you're more likely to identify exactly what class someone is. Okay, so there's a couple of guys waiting in ambush around here. The positioning, again, is somewhat awkward. If I walk into that door, we're going to get sneak attacked, and if I walk to that tile below the door, he might just throw something at us, and we'll still get sneak attacked. So let's summon something there. Yeah, okay, he threw a bag. Coming up from behind as well. I don't know if they're actually attacking. Let's see if we can order him to attack that guy. Maybe not. Let's just ignore those guys for the moment then. I forgot to drop the shot puts. Not that it really matters with floating disc up. Okay, there's a zombie here. Let's back up a little bit and summon a couple of guys. What's happening there? Ah, he's just killing them immediately. Why aren't you attacking him? I don't know why this guy next to us is not doing anything. He's kind of useless from the looks of it. Okay, well let's just dismiss him then, if he's not going to attack him. There's another guy waiting here to ambush us. but we managed to attack him before he attacked us, which is good. How's things going up here? Okay, it looks like the Tanglefoot bag has disappeared. The rogue is right there. We should be able to attack him from there. It's a little bit dangerous fighting things like rogues because they could have poisoned weapons, which is really bad. But I think we managed to take him out before he attacked us, so no worries there. Okay, these three should hopefully be able to take out those two zombies. Maybe not. Okay, cool. The nice thing about summoning on a necromancer is that you can also just attack your summons to regain health if you need to. Go to kill that guy. So for example, we're at 41 out of 43 health. This guy is moderately hurt, so we can probably one-shot him. Well, almost. But that gets us our health back, which is pretty nice. Okay, I think we're done with this room. +1 Wand of Unearthly Harmonies. What does that do? 1d8 points of sonic damage. I always forget to use wands and stuff in this game, but I think some of them actually are pretty good. If you improve your use magic skill, you can actually, I guess, improve the damage bonus of the wand. Yeah, so if you exceed 15 plus the wand depth, you get a extra +1 to its effective bonus. So I think on like rogues, use magic is pretty good because they get so many skill points. Okay, that guy did manage to sneak attack us, but fortunately he only threw a dagger. And we're almost up to level 4. So we haven't done too badly after our initial death. I actually am going to be picking up gold on this character, which I wasn't doing on the druid. Some of the stuff you can do as a mage, like you can do scribe scrolls to craft scrolls depending on your knowledge skill, I think. And that can cost money and experience, so if I ever do want to do that, we want money. I think we've already got protection from evil, so there's nothing in this book I'm actually interested in. We can just skip that one. Yeah, we've already got protection from evil. We don't need protection from good as well. We hit a fear trap, that's fine. Let's just back up and rest till that goes away. There was an altar to Zell there. We're ensnared. Let's make sure we use Steel Spell. Actually, we should just phase away. But yeah, Zel is not a god that I'm interested in worshipping. Okay, we hit level 4. Let's get a bonus to wisdom, I guess. That's increasing our damage. And let's see, more skills. Searching spot, healing. I kind of do want athletics at some point, but we don't really have the skill points to spare. So let's just go meta magic, concentration, decipher script. What else? Intuition, I guess. Yeah. And we have one more level 1 spell we can learn. I think I said I wanted to learn Magic Missile. And I don't know if there's actually any level 2 spells I was interested in. Oh yeah, Gust of Wind. We do kind of want Gust of Wind. This is very situational, but if we ever run into a druid... Well, actually no, we do have ESP. Maybe it's not worth it then. Probably not with ESP. Okay. If you don't have ESP, druids often come surrounded by a cloud of fog from the obscurement spell, which is pretty dangerous because it means that unless you can see them through the fog somehow, they can get a sneak attack in on you. So having a way of dispelling the cloud of fog is pretty useful, but we do have ESP, so we shouldn't need that. I guess levitation is useful. Yeah, we can get levitation. Okay, there's 5 scrolls here. That's almost certainly identify. So let's see if we can identify a bunch of stuff. Boots of the Druid, that's actually pretty nice. That'll let us walk on magma and webbing and that sort of thing without taking any damage or movement penalty. Gauntlets of Ledger Domain, what do they do? Lets us move our equipment around more quickly. I guess we don't have any other gloves, so that is worth wearing. Oh, we picked up a tome in the library as well. I forgot to identify that. Hidden Secrets, which is that one. Is that the intelligence one? I think this is the one that gives you see invisible and see through fog and that sort of thing, which is also good. Yeah, you understand how to see the unseen. So that gave us see invisible, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we have see invisibility now. I think the second time you read that, it gives you the druid sight ability, so you can see through fog and trees and that sort of thing. And then I think any subsequent readings give you... What do they give you? They might give you a feat, which is really good. So hopefully we find more of those. Cursed -1 Helm of Telepathy, even if it's cursed. Depending on how that works. If we get rid of the curse on that, is that just going to give us telepathy for 60 feet? Even if it is cursed, does it still give us telepathy? I do not know. Let's err on the side of caution and not wear that. +1 Helm of Orc's Blood. We can wear. That'll give us extra willpower, I think. Yep, so that brings us up to 20 wisdom, which means that we're now going to be getting +10 damage on Mana Drain instead of +8. And what else do we have? No more items. Just a bunch of potions, I guess. Well, we've identified cure disease, which is really nice. And we also have a scroll of neutralize poison. So I guess we are pretty safe at this point from just randomly dying to typical incursion stuff. Well, okay, there we go. We've been poisoned. So let's see if we can get away with just using our healing skill to cure the poison, and if not, we can read that scroll. Okay, cool. We managed to treat the poison. DC 12, and we have plus 15. Okay, so we're pretty safe from the early poisons at least at this point. But if you didn't have healing and you didn't have neutralized poison on a scroll, that would probably just kill you as a mage, because you need to make several fortitude saves in order to overcome the poison. We had more level 2 spells. That's right, I wasn't really interested in anything. Orcish barracks. We've been stunned by something, which is not great. And we also managed to bypass whatever this trap was. What is that trap? Razor wire. That one's fine, that just does damage. Anyway, let's head back up the stair. Have a quick peek around this corner. Okay. Don't want to go in there. Oh yeah, we have Boots of the Druid. So these pits, we can now just walk over, which is nice. So I think that's about it for this level. We've got this area over here. We'll need to probably cast Levitate to cross the deep water. And we've got this area through here, and then that's it. Okay. Let's just rest away the nausea. Book of Shadows. We might already have that book actually. Or at least we've got a book that has some of the same spells in it. The only spell in here that looked interesting is probably ESP, and we've already got that. Do we have any identify scrolls? No. We can actually go to the library. As a mage, we can use our knowledge of magic to try and identify items if we're in a library. So maybe we'll just head over to the library and see if we can identify that ring. Ah, okay, some kobolds. Kobolds do often come with poison, so they are a bit dangerous. This guy has a Book of Glamour, which is probably not too useful for us because we have a penalty on enchantment because of our necromancy specialty. We're not talking a lot anyway, so enchantment is of limited use to this character. Okay, let's see. Knowledge of magic. Research item. Oh, we can research a curse. I wonder if we can remove the curse on the Helm of Telepathy. kind of want to try that. Okay, we have no curse to research. Maybe that's a curse on the character. Let's research this ring that we picked up. We discovered that it is a ring +1 of the Carmelian. That doesn't sound very useful for us. Gives us +3 to our hide skill. Yeah, I don't care about that. I guess we don't have any other ring, so what the hell, why not? Okay, so let's levitate. We should probably just stick this on, let's stick it on 8. So when you're levitating, I think you get a penalty, or I thought you got a penalty to your spell casts, but it doesn't look like we have much, if any, penalty. Nope, okay, never mind. Oh, okay, wait. That's what I was thinking of. You need to pass a balance check in order to cast spells when you're levitating. So we don't really want to be fighting while levitating. Have I managed to do a single one? There we go. I think Still Spell allows you to just bypass the balance check. So if we really desperately need to cast something while we're levitating, we can use Still Spell to do it. I'm kind of sick of doing it though, so let's just drop levitation while we're standing over the doorway. I don't really care if he casts False Life. Let's just let him do that. I also don't care if he casts Floating Disc. Odd choices. Okay, he's got a few books on him. And some Scrolls of Identify. Okay, so let's see. We've already got Adventurer's Arts and Ars Mortis. I don't think I care about these spells. Practical Divinings, Detect Monsters. That's probably worth picking up. I think that is a more general detection spell than ESP. So let's pick up Practical Divinings. And let's drop the levitation since we're on solid ground now. Can we actually learn Detect Monsters? I think it's a level 3 spell unless you have the Divination specialty. So, can't learn it just yet. I was going to say, I remembered seeing a monster in this room through ESP earlier. Oh, okay. Let's get away from that guy. Let's just leave him alone, actually. Okay, we hit a fear trap. We haven't really been doing too well with resisting those, which is a bit surprising since we have a +9 will save. Okay, well, this is a Kobold Warren. If I do a search, we find nothing. So there's no traps in this area. If I do another search, find nothing. We did get hit with the Tanglefoot bag. Are we not stuck? I guess maybe we're not stuck until we move. so we didn't have the penalty. Okay, so there when I searched, I found nothing of significance, but we also got a message that we failed a search check, so there's definitely a trap around here, or more than one trap around here somewhere. So let's just retrace our steps and leave. I'm not interested in running into a million traps. Let's get our levitation back up. Okay, I think that's basically all of the first level explored. We managed to get up to level 4, which is not too bad. So we're probably not in any danger at this point of getting one shot. So this character is hopefully going to last for a good while longer. We can walk through this mud because of the boots of the druid, that should be fine. We can see a chest down here for some reason, not quite sure why. Another potion of cure disease, definitely pick that up. Some wands, some gold, yellow tinted lenses. Okay, let's pick up all that stuff. This is a very busy room. We can walk across the lava again because of the boots of the druid, so that's pretty useful. Okay, nothing much around here. Let's just head back up the stair. What was that? We fell victim to a miscast magic trap. Okay, so our success rate has dropped a bit. That should be okay. I don't know if that lasts forever or just for a long time, but hopefully it goes away soon. Whole bunch of acid blobs fighting each other for some reason. How's our magic doing? Still, fail rates are higher. We might need to rest to get rid of that. But magic... Minor Drain is only at 86% fail, which is not too bad. So we can probably just ignore it. These rooms are usually super annoying, but yeah, fortunately we found those boots of the druid, so we can just walk through without slipping and sliding everywhere. Okay, more spell books. Let's see what we've got here. Didn't need those. Fundamentals, Dispel Magic? I don't know if we have that. I guess we can pick up these two. Yeah. We are still at light encumbrance, so that's fine. Okay, some more scrolls of identify, that's very worthwhile. We've already got Ars Mortis and Book of Glamour we don't care about. Okay. Let's identify some stuff. Crown of the Magi -1. So we do have a couple of nice helms that we'd like to uncurse. I'm not really sure. I guess there's probably a scroll of uncurse or remove curse. So we'll hang on to both of those. I guess, let's see, this is just giving us plus 5% chance of casting. I'd rather have the Helm of Telepathy over that, I think. We can probably just drop that. Yellow tinted lenses, +2 lenses of detection. Magic bonus to your search, and the sharp senses ability. That sounds pretty good. So what's that search at? Searching is at +10. That's pretty good. Wilderness Lore, I didn't talk about it at all, but orcs also get this devouring ability, where if you eat the corpse of an enemy, you can gain their resistances. The downside of doing that is that you will get diseases extremely frequently, unless you have a really high Wilderness Lore skill. So we do have +8 in Wilderness Lore, which means we can eat fresh animal corpses, I think. Which is unlikely to be useful, because I don't think many of them have resistances. But maybe it'll come in handy. We'll see. Like, let's see, this is a DC 15, so we'd have to get 7 on our roll in order to not get disease from it, but that could grant us acid resistance. I guess we do have some cure disease potions, so maybe it is worth eating it. Let's just see. Do we have to eat the whole thing? I guess we have to eat the whole thing. I don't know if this can kill us. Okay, so we passed our Wilderness Lore check again, which is good. So we didn't get any disease from that, and we gained acid, poison, psychic, and sonic damage resistance. So it may be worth doing some more of that. It only gave us 1 point of those resistances, but better than nothing. If we find an amulet of resist disease, then we can just chow down on everything. We hit a pain trap. I don't know if that's another one that lasts forever or if that goes away. Looks like it went away. We've still got the miscast magic. There's a fear trap here, that's fine, we can just walk over that. I kind of want to activate it so we can try and save it. Okay, well, we've been failing all of our will saves. We haven't got any wisdom training at all. Okay, Jackal Skeleton. Let's use Magic Missile. Let's stick that on 3. Halfling Blackguard. What's he doing? Holy Summoning? Let's counter that. Is this a summoned? Hostile Uninjured Grick. I don't think that is summoned. Kind of want to get past. Okay, I think I have to kill the Grick first. He can cast Sanctuary, that's fine. Let's see what this ring is. Elemental disjunction. Let's see. I think that is not useful for us. Sounds like a priest item. I know that you can get resistances from these guys, I'm pretty sure. Once we hit level 5 actually, we can just cast Major Drain. Because Major Drain has the same effect as eating the corpse of something. It'll give you its resistances. The caveat there, of course, is that we don't have a spellbook containing Major Drain, so once we find the library on this level, hopefully we find the spellbook that contains Major Drain there, but otherwise I think we'll just go into wizard mode and give ourselves the book. Because it is, I'm pretty sure, bugged. We're not doing too well against this guy. Let's phase away. Oh, here we are in the library. And there's a tome right in front of us. Officious celerity +1. What does that do? Dexterity, I guess. Let's just read that. Okay, Magician's Manual. I think we picked one of these up. Oh, no we didn't. Tome of Magic, that's what I was thinking of. It looks like enchantments, so we don't really care about that. There's a Sylph here. Neutral. I guess because we have the Boots of the Druid, we're neutral to... What's the category? Sylvan creatures. I'm going to leave her alive for the moment, because if we do find Major Drain, or if we just cheat it in, you can gain Charisma from killing Sylvan enemies with Major Drain. We've been lucky with these tomes. Fortuitous Methodology, I guess that's Constitution. Oh no, that was Luck. There you go. Elemental Covenant, I don't think we care about. Okay, knock does not work on the locks on chests, so if we want to get into that chest, we'll either have to bash it open, which I think is unlikely with our strength, or we'll have to just try and pick the lock again after we've rested. So we'll just have to remember that that's there. Planar Bindings. Create Spectral Undead. Fiend Form. That kind of sounds cool. Let's pick that up. Words of Power. Don't know if I care about any of those. Ah, we actually did get lucky. That's crazy. This is really rare. I was fully expecting to have to enter wizard mode in order to get access to Major Drain. This is the right book, right? I'm not crazy. Yeah, Major Drain. So, there you go. This will be a legit run. So that is, as far as I'm aware, the only book in the game that contains Major Drain, since the starting necromancy book is bugged out. So we got pretty lucky there. I'm pretty happy about that. Hopefully this character doesn't die. Mortal Coil. I think we actually do want this book. This is like the starting Thaumaturgy book, and it has a couple of good buffs in it. False Life is a good one, because that's a necromancy spell, so we'll get it discounted. Oh, we don't have any level 1 spells available. Crap. That would have been a nice one to have. That just gives you extra health. Which is pretty nice, because as a mage you are a bit low on health to begin with. Okay, so I think we want to hit level 5, learn Major Drain, and then start getting a whole bunch of resistances from killing things. I don't think I care about that book. No. Okay, pretty good library. Strange fungus. Malice roots are pretty dangerous if you're a melee character because they can damage your dexterity. So you really don't want to attack them in melee if you can help it. Okay, we got stunned by that guy, but that's fine. We managed to kill him anyway. We've still got the miscast magic. So we are going to have to rest at some point to get rid of that. Oh, we're at 0 fatigue points, so we should go rest now. Let's head back to the inn, since we're still less than level 5, so we should be able to rest there. And descend. Okay. We're a bit peckish, let's eat some of these strips of cured meat. And we'll do a quick exploration around level 1, just because there might have been monsters that have respawned, which is good for more experience. Gotta remember about that chest as well, on level 2. We should try and pick that again. Oh yeah, Kobold Warren, don't want to be in there. Looks like there was an extra scroll there that wasn't there before. So even if there aren't any monsters, it's still worth having a look around because new items tend to appear as well. I don't want to levitate through all that mess, let's just ignore that section. Okay, here's a couple of new guys. We want to be careful of the plague of spiders, because they can poison us. Looks like there's more of these kobolds around the corner. Okay, nothing more in that room. Did we have anything we needed to identify? I guess we've got a whole bunch of wands. I don't know if it's worth spending the time doing research in the library to identify stuff. Looks like there's no one here. Human Ranger. Okay, I think we've covered most of level 1. We can probably head back down into level 2. Looks like we have gotten a little bit of intelligence training just from deciphering the runes on equipment, but not enough to gain any more intelligence than we already have. Yeah, okay, let's just head back down. Oh yeah. This is that magma room, which is actually fine now that we've got our boots of the druid. Rune covered full blade. Got a few more points of training and intelligence from identifying that. I guess we could learn Gust of Wind, we've already got that book, and blow this these nauseating clouds away if we really wanted to. I don't think it's necessary though. Let's just walk through. Oh yeah, we wanted to leave the Sliff alive for when we get to level 5. Let's leave that guy alone. Wild pack of horses in the dungeon. Do I want to walk on that? Probably not. What just happened there? We hit a blinding trap. Okay, let's rest. Okay. Ah, Helm of Telepathy. If this one is uncursed, then we don't have to worry about uncursing that one that we already found. Let's see if we can research it. Helm of Telepathy. Nice. Okay, well let's drop off the cursed helm and just stick that on instead. We are going to lose our Helm of Orc's Blood, which loses us our 20 wisdom, so we're going to be doing slightly less damage. But we should be able to just drop ESP off of our buff list now. And still be able to detect things within 6 squares of us, which is pretty good. Let's just confirm that actually works. Where is that Sliff? Yep, okay, we can still detect things. Cool. Can I not target that guy? What's he doing? He's casting Life Sight. Let's not counter that for 20 mana. Okay, a couple of scrolls of Identify. Very nice. What else did we pick up? We picked up something from him. Double Banded Ring. Let's identify that. Uncursed Ring of Polymorphing. I don't think we want to randomly polymorph. Let's drop that. Okay, hit another pain trap. We're almost at level 5, which means that we are almost at major drain, which will be a big improvement once we can start using that. Not even really for the damage, just for the fact that we'll be gaining a whole bunch of resistances and stat bonuses from killing things. Oh, we feel unclean. That's not a... I thought this was a boa constrictor, it's a boa-lisk. So... this inflicts 1 point of constitution damage every 30 turns. This disease that we've been inflicted with. So we definitely want to cure out of this. We want to kill that guy. Let's just run away from the zombie. Okay, let's use our healing kit. Treat disease. Okay, we lessened the effect of it, but we didn't cure it. Let's see. Every 30 turns, we need a DC 20 saving throw. That's really, really high. So there's no chance that we can actually make the saving throw to cure that. I think we need to rest somewhere. Let's see. Where's a safe place to rest? Maybe in this little hallway here. There's nothing around here, right? Oh no, there is a secret door. Let's go back up 1 level then. The best thing would be to rest at the inn. Let's see if we can make it over to the inn before we have to make a saving throw against that disease. Oh crap. Okay, we feel unhealthy. Let's see if we can treat disease. We lessen the effect of mummy rot, but we are still diseased. We can't treat the constitution damage, I think, because we've already healed once this long rest. Okay, well, let's just rest again. Bear up under our mummy rot? Okay, so we did manage to beat it on that one. Lessen the effects, how much more? Okay, so we need 14 successful saves, and we've made 8. Yeah, this is why you don't ever want to get diseased in this game. It's such a pain in the ass. We don't want to be hungry because that reduces our constitution, which in turn reduces our saving throw. Oh crap, we failed to treat it. We can't cure our constitution. Failed again, this is not good. We're resting so much, there's going to be a million monsters in the dungeon by the time we start exploring again. Okay, we lessen the effect, how much more? We've made 10, we need 14. What a pain. We're going to have to rest even more than to treat the constitution damage. I know that we have a potion of cure disease, and maybe it would have been better to have just drunk that immediately. But I'm too far in now, I've got the sunk cost fallacy. Okay, we only need to make one more saving throw to cure it. Is it not gone? We've made 14 successful. We're going through a lot of food as well. Oh my god. This is ridiculous. How are we still diseased? Oh, okay, finally. Jesus. Okay, so we lost 8 points of constitution, and we rested a million times. We need to rest again, probably, to cure up all of this constitution damage. Fortunately, it looks like we can cure more than 1 point of damage at a time. I guess we do have this potion of restore constitution. Let's just drink that. I don't want to rest anymore. Damn. Yeah, that's why healing is such an important skill. There's going to be many, many monsters for us to fight since we rested so much. Probably should pick up food rations since we burned through a lot of food as well. Oh yeah, Kobold Warren. Hopefully there's enough stuff lying around that we can hit level 5 and then just start major draining things. That would improve my mood. Okay, only 170-ish. More experience to go. Oops. Ah, you know what? I should have been trying to unlock that chest in all those rests. There were so many opportunities that we could have used to try and unlock that chest on level 2, and I just completely forgot about it. That's actually pretty annoying. Every time you retry a lock... we're ensnared. Let's phase away. Every time you retry a lock, you get a bonus +4. So if you make enough attempts, you can unlock anything. It just takes a lot of resting. The reason you don't want to do that is that resting generates more monsters, But if we were resting anyway to get rid of the disease, I should have been going down and trying that lock again on the chest. Anyway, we're at level 5 now. We get a bonus meta magic feat. I guess we could just get Law of Death. All necromantic damage done is increased by 20%. That's pretty good. I think spell penetration is also pretty good. Once we start running into enemies with spell resistance, we definitely want that. So let's just get that right now. Okay, let's learn Major Drain. Oh, and we can learn Detect Monsters. Very nice. Well, I guess we don't need it now that we've got ESP. Although this is better than, not ESP, the Helm of Telepathy. This is better than the Helm of Telepathy because it will detect every monster, I think. Anyway, where's Major Drain? Major Drain. So yeah, with this spell, the wizard drains a life and vital force from a target and adds it to his own. 1d4 vampiric damage per caster level, and if we kill the target and we're a specialist necromancer, we gain resistances and potencies as if we had devoured the corpse. And it's pretty cheap as well, only 3 magic. So we can just replace Minor Drain with Major Drain. And that's very nice to have, especially against these jelly monsters actually, because they tend to have a bunch of resistances. Oh, well there's a potion of disease just lying on the ground. Another Bolisk. I guess we just found a potion of cure disease, so it should be fine. Okay, nice. Managed to kill him without getting diseased again. We should also improve our skills. Searching, spot, healing. Let's go one more into meta magic. Concentration, appraise, decipher script. We're nauseated, that's why we're failing. And we're prone. We're getting knocked over. This is kind of bad actually. Let's rest out of the nausea. There we go. Okay, there's a strange fungus. Where's that? It says it's in view, but I don't see it anywhere. Oh, we should get disease, or no, poison resistance, there you go. So yeah, Major Drain is definitely a really great spell. Hopefully once we stack up enough poison resistance, we won't have to worry about that anymore. And I think it is possible to get disease resistance from certain enemies as well. Okay, there's a scroll of Identify here. Let's pick that up. More scrolls of Identify. I think that was a druid, because there were some clouds around. I guess he got killed by someone else. We should get some resistances from the Shrieker, I believe. Yeah, poison, psychic, and disease resistance. Okay, very good. Disease resistance is obviously really nice, considering what we went through when we contracted one disease before. Fire, cold, poison, psychic, and sonic from the Shadow Ooze. I wonder if we can absorb resistances from monsters that we summon. I actually don't know. I kind of want to try that out. Elf. I think elves can give you something. Yeah, I guess we don't get anything from monsters we summon. We happen to kill another Shadow Ooze that I didn't even realise was there. Okay, so there should be hopefully, the Sliff down here somewhere. And we should be able to get an extra point of charisma from him. Lightning resistance. Yeah, it's pretty nice just seeing all your resistances tick up once you finally have Major Drain castable. I guess that Sliff is long gone. We did rest quite a lot. We can just trigger the light trap, that's fine. Another Shadow Ooze, they're pretty good for resistances. How are we doing? Fire, Cold. Fire and Cold are at 3 and 4. So having free Fire and Cold resistance is pretty cool. Disease resistance from the human paladin. I think he must not really have been a human, because they shouldn't give you any resistances, I don't think. Yeah. Feeling a little bit better now that we've actually got Major Drain up and running. It's unfortunate we had to spend so much time resting. There must be another druid around here, judging by all this fog. Yeah, there we go. So we just killed a Sliff and we felt more charismatic. So there's certain monsters that will actually give you stat bonuses as well as resistances. So yeah, I think it's Sylvan things give you charisma. Mind Flayers can give you intelligence. Giants can give you strength. I think dragons can give you more magic. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that we want to find, and then Major Drain for bonuses. Yeah, we felt more charismatic from killing that rainbow sprite. So our charisma is not really a worry anymore. We shouldn't be in danger from dying due to charisma damage. This guy has a spellbook. I don't know if we have this one. Gaze Reflection, protection from arrows. That is possibly worthwhile. Yeah, we're still light encumbrance. We don't have another level 1 spell slot. I think I wanted to get False Life, but I guess we can't get it just yet. We do have Animate Dead. Maybe I should be doing Animate Dead, because we are a Necromancer. And Haste. Haste is good. +4 to defense. Increase movement by 150. There's a whole bunch of good spells that we could pick up, I think. Anyway, I think I've actually been playing for quite a while. I kind of lost track of the time. But yeah, I think I'll stop here. So we've done quite a lot. We've hit level 5. We've been diseased for, I think it was like a week in game. We've finally got Major Drain up and running, so that's pretty good. We didn't have to cheat in order to get the spellbook, which I'm pretty happy about, because the Grey Ashes manuscript is pretty rare in my experience. But yeah, we're doing pretty well. So yeah, we'll stop there for the moment, and I'll see you next time.